The marriage line is located underneath the pinky finger, and most people will think that this is the only line to look at to tell if you'll have a happy marriage. However, there's another line even further down the palm which is actually just as important to figure out the health of a relationship. You see, this is a line for your maternal grandmother, and her influence, along with her family karma, is going to play a huge role in the happiness of your relationship. And in this video, I'm going to tell you guys all about this. Hey guys, welcome back to Chariot Palmistry, where we help you navigate your life. My name is Sulabh Jain, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the line for your maternal grandmother and how her influence impacts your relationships. I want you to have a look at this hand over here. This is the hands of a woman in her mid-50s. What you're going to notice is her relationship line has a fork on it, and so does a line for her maternal grandmother. Now this is a woman who's just coming out of a terrible divorce, and she's having a lot of trouble or facing a lot of blockages finding a new partner. And what this fork represents is a very difficult or argumentative relationship. You see, what happened with this woman's maternal grandmother is during the Second World War, she had an affair with an Australian soldier. She actually had a child with that person and sent the baby off to live somewhere in the north of England. She didn't tell anyone about it. The rest of the family only discovered this secret after the grandmother passed away. And that tricky karma has actually infected everyone in her generation. You see, not only has she had a divorce, her brother has had 2 divorces and is currently on his 3rd marriage. Her other brother has had 3 divorces and is on his 4th marriage. She also has a cousin who's got divorced as well. So you can see there's some sort of energy at play here, some sort of family pattern that continues down the generations. So let me explain the energy behind all of this. You see, there's 4 kinds of primary karmas in your life. There's your karma from your past life, the karma from this life, your karma from your family, and your karma from your society. If you live in a society or in a culture that has, say, a 50% divorce rate, then there's a 50% chance that you'll have a divorce. However, if you come from a family where everyone's happily married, then you'll probably end up happily married, regardless of the karma of your society. So it's one thing to have a look at the marriage line. That is your karma. To understand if there's relationship karma that your family is carrying, have a look at the line for your maternal grandmother. Whatever secret she's carrying will impact the health of your relationships and everybody in your generation. So let me give you another example. This is the hands of a man who has a very, very thin line for his maternal grandmother. Thin lines, by the way, are a sign of a weak connection, or someone you're just not close to or don't get along with all that well. And if you have a look at his relationship line, that's also extremely thin. Meaning this is a person who really doesn't spend all that much time with his spouse. And at the time this photograph was taken, this man was actually having an affair unbeknownst to his wife. And that energy comes from his maternal grandmother. I don't know the exact story of what that woman's life was like, but the logic behind this is that you learn to love from your mother, and your mother learns to love from her mother. So if there's dysfunction with that person, that will create dysfunction with your mother, which will create the dysfunction with you. That's the energetic logic behind this family karma. Now have a look at this line here. The line for this maternal grandmother is thick, however, it's broken in the middle. And when that happens, that's a sign of a broken relationship with that ancestor. And just as there's 2 parts to this line for this grandmother, you'll notice this person has 2 lines for his wife. And what happened with this person is he actually got married when he was in college or in university. He started dating someone who's from the Middle East. They fell head over heels for each other and got married. She didn't tell anyone back in her home country that she got married. However, after a couple of years, she went back home, told her father and brothers that she'd actually tied the knot with someone, and they freaked out. They took her passport away, they locked her in her house and forced her into marrying somebody else. This man has not seen his wife ever since then. So after many years of heartbreak, he eventually married somebody else. And this is how his grandmother's karma, or the lack of relationship with her, led to 2 separate marriages. You wouldn't think that somebody else's energy would influence your life directly, but it actually does, especially if it's close family members. Different ancestors impact you differently. And so if you have a marriage line that looks exactly the same as the line for your grandmother, you'll know that there's a pattern that's going on between your family and its generations. And if it's good energy, then you want to keep that going. But if it's bad energy, then you want to be the person that breaks that pattern. So you don't want your kids to carry on that karma. Now, as I said at the start of this video, there's 4 kinds of karma. If you want to know what the karma is with your spouse in your past life, click on this video over here. Thanks a lot, guys.